MAC football this week, really interesting. You got some teams that are starting to pique your curiosity a little bit. Eastern Michigan's 2-0, Buffalo's 2-0. Kent State finally has an offense that looks like they can at least walk out on the field and compete. Toledo obviously has a big game this week with Miami. Akron's
Miami, Florida.
Miami of Florida.
Yes.
Akron is going to Northwestern at a game. That's a game that they could cherry pick quite possibly 2 weeks in a row. You could get a MAC team, getting a Big Ten team. I mean, there's a lot to be looking at this weekend in the Mid-American Conference. I know you got one game that you particularly like.
Oh, yeah. There's only one game to look at. And no disrespect to the rest of the teams in the MAC. But I'm looking at Eastern Michigan and Buffalo. As you said, both teams are undefeated. But I have a look out for the quarterbacks. Oh. Although I'll talk about a receiver, but the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You're looking at Tyler Weigers, hope I pronounced his name right, 67% completion percentage. I mean, that's incredible.
At Eastern Michigan.
At Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
And then at Buffalo, Tyree Jackson, 60%, but those aren't the impressive numbers. This guy is 6'7", 245 pounds.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's only a junior. He's bigger now than Ben Roethlisberger was.
I mean, this is bigger than him now.
Right, big or bigger than him now.
I mean, so that's going to be incredible to see. And then, of course, the wide receiver and Anthony Johnson had a great catch last weekend to win the game. So that's the game I'm looking at.
Well, you say there's one. I say there's two games. And the second game is number 21 Miami at Toledo. Now, how often do you get a nationally ranked, first off, a nationally ranked football team going into a MAC stadium? That, number one, should draw your attention. But number two, this, Miami's certainly favored. But Toledo's going to put up a fight. Toledo went down to Miami last year, and they were leading at the half 16-10. Now, it ended up being I think it was 52-38. Miami woke up in the second half. But again, this game is going to be played at Toledo, okay? So, give Toledo at least a puncher's chance at pulling an upset. Don't think it'll happen, but I think it's going to be one fantastic football game, and I'm sure Toledo will show up for the Mid-American Conference, so to speak. But your game, again, one of the first games to start the season, that's going to be very tough. That's a cross-division game, too. Eastern Michigan's in the West, Buffalo's in the East. So it may not impact who wins those divisions, but it may impact who and where teams go postseason. So that's a big game on a lot of fronts. So that's going to be very, very interesting.